I am from beyond. Listen, and all you desire will be yours. Welcome to Spider-Dan and the Secret Balls. Prepare for Prattle.
Hello, welcome back to Malta Comic Con. I'm here with John Layman.
Howdy.
Cool, we're going to do a couple of quick fire questions for you.
Alrighty.
How are you finding Malta? How are you finding the con?
Oh, it's great so far. I mean, it's a real, family-friendly con. A lot of people bringing their kids out. I think there's probably a lot of people who are maybe being exposed to comics for the first time and just kind of, are interested in the geek experience, but it's a very friendly and inviting show.
Yeah, lots of families, lots of, like you said, people who are new to comics.
Yeah.
Probably never seen a comic come in for the first time.
Which is great for a place like this, and great for comics just in general, because it kind of spreads the word. We get some people hooked and can only help the industry.
So, what have you got coming up? What have you got in the pipeline? Anything good?
Anything good is subjective. I hope it's all good. I'm doing my book Outer Darkness, which is my kind of Star Trek horror book for Skybound, and we're just finishing up season 1. And unfortunately, I've got all this stuff in the pipeline. Most of it hasn't been announced. Before we go into season 2, we're doing something special, which won't be announced for a couple months. The one thing I do have that's been announced is an IDW book called Bermuda with Nick Bradshaw. And it's kind of a girl in the jungle, kind of Tarzan, Commandy kind of thing. And Nick Bradshaw is just spectacular, very detail oriented. So it should be gorgeous, even if the writing's terrible.
Hey, it sounds very interesting. So this book for
Outer Darkness with Skybound Image.
Yeah, just tell us a bit about that.
Oh well, it is. It's Star Trek. If Star Trek was scary. Or if Star Trek was Event Horizon on a weekly basis, outer space is filled with demons. Like everyone who's died, they don't go to heaven, they don't go to hell. Their soul gets cast into space, and it gets lonely and it gets angry, and basically everything that's ever lived or died is out there. And you've got a ship traversing space, and you've got your science officers, your engineer, your captain, number one, first officer. But you've also got exorcists and witch doctors and oracles and fortune tellers, and it's the nice way to describe it is black magic Star Trek. People have also called it satanic Star Trek. I'm fine with either of those.
I quite like the satanic Star Trek. Excellent. Yeah. Well,
I've got a book. Well, I'm going to announce it right here because this isn't going to run. I've got a book. Can I swear?
Of course you can. Yeah.
I've got a book called The Man Who Fucked Up Time.
Excellent.
Coming from Aftershock, and that will be announced on Monday. So I know by the time this runs, I'm safe to talk about it. And it's I'm calling it a butterfly effect noir. It's about a lab worker who's got a time machine in his lab. He meets his future self in a bar who says, "Hey, dude, go back a week in time and make these changes and your life will be great." And so he goes back just 1 week, makes a few changes, and by the time he gets back, dinosaurs are back on the earth. And there's samurais, and Abraham Lincoln IV is a tyrannical dictator, and just madness. This guy only went back a week, and then the future police show up and they're like, "Hey, dude, you gotta fix time because you fucked it up, or we're gonna go back in time and kill baby you." And it's got like the little curse marks, the asterisk, and so we can't actually call it it's the man who effed up time, but that's what it's really called.
That sounds absolutely awesome. I'll definitely have a look at that.
I've promised more Chew coming in 2020, but I can't be more specific than that, other than we're working on it. And then I've got I like to work on kind of one licensed book at a time, one like work for hire book that I don't own the characters, but doing all this work myself, it's sometimes hard to be self-motivating, and I like a whip being cracked, and so I always try to take a work for hire book just because I have a monthly deadline. And I find when I'm working on a book I have to work on, my mind wanders to what I want to be working on rather than what I haven't. So I almost take a work for hire gig just because it forces the creative juices to flow, and it just keeps me honest. It keeps me from being too lazy. So I've got I've got 5 books going. One work for hire, another others IDW, Aftershock, Image, and Skybound.
So very busy.
Sounds
Good.
like it,
Yeah.
but they all move slow, and I feel like I can go to Malta for a week and not work, and I'm okay.
Well-
then I'll come back to a bunch of work.
I'm glad you mentioned Chew, because for the final question, what is your favourite meal?
I really like Indian food, and I really like Mexican food, and I really like Thai food.
What's the weirdest thing that you've eaten?
One of my first foreign trips ever, I went to Italy, and my Italian publishers seemed to think that because I wrote Chew, that I would want to eat the weirdest shit possible,
Yeah.
which is not the case. But they tried to feed me horse, which as an American is very offensive. You
Yes.
know, that so much of the Western mythos is built on horses that really seemed wrong. I tried it, but I couldn't have more than that. And they fed me lard and all this weird stuff, and it's like, I try to go along and roll with the punches, but I don't necessarily want to eat gross stuff voluntarily just because Tony Chew has to.
Well, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the con.
I plan to.
Yet another fantastic interview coming up from Malta Comic Con. I'm here with...
Ron James, the author of the Sam Hain series.
Excellent. So how are you finding the con? How are you finding the island?
Absolutely bloody fantastic, actually. Like, it's a lot warmer than I was anticipating.
It seems to be the general consensus that it is a lot warmer than it usually is, so...
Yeah, definitely coming from, like, very wintry, drizzly London, where it was all grey and generally quite miserable, to bright, sunny and happy, and it's kind of unsettling.
Okay, bright, sunny, happy. That's to describe me. Tell me a bit about your work. Tell me a bit about your work, your book, and, give us a bit of background.
So, Sam Hain is a series of supernatural, occulty kind of mysteries, following the adventures of the titular occult detective as he investigates anything kind of weird and untoward in the world, just beneath the surface of reality.
Come on, more detail. Let's have another. Keep going.
Oh god, more detail without giving things away.
Well, entice
Mystery
people.
and
Entice. Mystery magic.
So yeah, mystery and magic does pretty much sum it up. Sam Hain is an occult detective who he would like to think he's well versed in the arcane arts, but he's more just sort of muddling through.
How many books are in the series so far?
So there are 6 novellas in Volume 1, which was collected into a compendium last year in like hardback and paperback format with some fantastic artists. Volume 2 is currently 3 novellas in at the moment, so
Okay.
there's like 9 in the mainline series.
And if people want to purchase these quality items, where would they go from?
Oh, well, they're all available on Amazon, both Kindle and paperback editions, and the collected compendium for Volume 1 is available in pretty much any good bookstore.
Okay, excellent. So, shampoo. Do you shampoo and condition, or just shampoo?
Oh, I do shampoo and condition.
Leaving conditioner or wash out conditioner?
This is the thing, I have a very, very strict regimen for my hair care. Especially as it's so humid here, I need to kind of like tame the curls that would otherwise become frizz. So I go for
Just to let everybody know, it has shoulder length hair, dark, long, curly. But curly because the humidity, or is it naturally curly?
Oh, naturally curly.
Oh, excellent. Continue.
So, generally, overnight I will do like a deep condition of coconut oil. Not doing that here, it's a bit too much to try and take on the plate. But, nice bit of shampoo, a lengthy hold-in of conditioner afterwards, rinse that out, and then just run a little bit of conditioner in to tame the frizz.
How often do you do that?
Every morning.
Every morning. That's a routine. Well, may I say,
It takes a good half an hour.
it is really, really looking good and suiting you, sir. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you very much for your time, and
Well, thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your Sunday.
And you too.
Welcome to Spider Down and the Secret Balls here at Malta Comic Con. We are here with a very special guest. We are here with Ron Marz, creator of the Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner, and writer of the Silver Surfer. We're here to ask a few questions. How are you finding the convention, Ron?
I found it because the bus dropped us off right in front of it. That's
Yes.
the only way that I found it. No, this is great. This is this is actually my second convention in Malta, so it's very interesting to me that I think it was probably about 5 years ago I was here for the first time, and so it's interesting for me to see how much the comics culture has burgeoned in the ensuing
Sort of
5
evolved,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously got to do with the popularity of the movies and TV shows that comics spawn and all that. But for a place that, like, at least in America,
Yeah.
not a lot of people even know what it is or
Yeah,
where it
true,
is.
yeah.
To have this really sort of evolving comic culture here is great.
Yeah, it's very vibrant. the atmosphere is palpable today. You can really feel the love in the room.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's excited to be here. And the crowd is great. I mean, this place is packed.
Yeah, it is jumping. So I wanted to ask as well, clearly you're hard at work. What is your next big project?
If I only had one big project, I'd be concerned. But there's,
You got several coming up.
that's not how it works for writers. You usually have to be doing 3 or 4 or 5 different things.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
see, I'm still the editor-in-chief and lead writer at Ominous Press,
Of
where
course, yeah.
we do a number of books, including some stuff that's in the pipeline now. A book called Harkin's Raiders, which is a World War II adventure that I did with Darryl Banks, my partner in crime on Green Lantern. That's actually at press right now.
Nice.
There's more stuff coming up there. I did an adaptation or a story about the Rising Sun game that was a huge success on Kickstarter.
All right.
For IDW. So we're actually turning games into comics rather than turning comics into games.
Sounds right.
Which was this sort of samurai, epic story with monsters, and that's kind of right up my alley. And
you see a lot of that kind of games becoming comics, becoming games, becoming
yeah,
comics.
well, it's all sort of transmedia. It's all it's all the same. It's all stew in the same pot at this point, which I think is kind of cool. So hopefully we can get people that just bought the game to buy the comics. Maybe we can get comics readers to go look at the game. So there's that. There's an original graphic novel I'm doing with Rick Leonardi at a publisher that can't be named and we haven't announced yet.
Okay.
There's the next issue of Death Wish Coffee Presents comics, which Rick Leonardi and I just did. And
I love his work.
he's one of my best friends and a guy that I just adore working with. So we find stuff to work on quite
as
a
much
bit.
as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some other stuff that I'm working on right now, but hasn't been announced yet. Publishers are always. They're always reticent to have you talk about things before they get to do the big press release.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So we've got to ask a cool little fun question. And you were quite heavily involved back in the 90s with Marvel versus DC, the big comics event. So my question is, Marvel versus DC, who wins and why?
Well, apparently Marvel does because they produce movies that make $1 billion at the
That's
box
true.
office.
Yeah.
It's always the question that you get. It's never an either or. It's sort of like what your preference is. But like as a kid, I was always a Marvel reader because those books appealed to me more. The characters I seem to plug into more.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably reflected in how much of an audience the Marvel movies have.
Yeah.
Compared to the struggles that some of the DC movies have had, although I think obviously DC has sort of gotten the message and has lightened up a bit on how their movies are presented.
Yeah, exactly. Much lighter tone now.
Yeah, Shazam and Aquaman were much lighter in tone and much more colorful, and they were superhero movies.
Yeah, that's what they felt like to me.
Yeah, my gosh, superhero movies that are fun.
Yeah,
Who would have thought?
Who knew?
Although the other side of that coin is obviously something like the Joker, which certainly isn't a superhero movie.
No.
Is an R-rated movie that people are really responding to. So I think there's room across the spectrum from all of it, or for all of it. But I think that sort of that Marvel formula, the menu that they have come upon to make their films has really connected with people worldwide. They're fun movies, and I don't think there's a bad movie.
No.
I mean, there are some that are better than others, and some that appeal to me more than others. But I think to a great extent, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's the Marvel package.
Yeah, and it's they're great films for people who have never read a comic in their life.
Yeah.
And hopefully, that leads them to investigate comics and
Yeah,
read
exactly.
some.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's our sort of niche culture and the kind of stories that we could only tell in comics are now spread worldwide. I just said to somebody who was at the table earlier today that now everybody knows who Thanos is.
Yeah.
I went to Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who Thanos was. Like that's a weird world to live in.
That's cool. I love the original Avengers film where they teased Thanos, and they did it in such a way that if you're not a comics fan, nobody knew who the hell he was. So all of my friends were like, right, who the hell is that? And I was like, let me tell you. So yeah, I got to geek out and give out. And those are my favorite kind of teasers in those movies.
Yeah, and then and now of course everybody's wearing Thanos on their T-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanos was a Saturday Night Live punch.
Yeah.
And for me, who like I wrote Thanos any number of times, way early in my career. It's a very odd thing to see all that stuff come back. And one of my best friends is Jim Starlin.
Yeah,
so,
of course, yeah.
Jim and I constantly talk about it, and
he's really come back into the public eye. I've seen him in loads of interviews and
well, obviously, it's all driven by the films.
Yeah.
And he said it's a surreal kind of few years for him to see a character that literally sprang out of his head, walking and talking up on screen, and he's essentially the most compelling character.
Easily.
In two films that have made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's we live in a whole different world than we did even 10 years ago.
It's incredible. It's incredible the change that has come in such a it's a large amount of time. It's a short amount of time in the realm of comics, I guess. It's been fantastic. Well, thank you for speaking to us today. It's been fantastic getting to know you and talk to you about all this sort of stuff. So thank you very much for your time today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hello, this is Dan coming from Malta Comic-Con, and I'm speaking to a very, very good friend of mine. It is Ian Richardson. Hello, sir.
How you doing, Dan? You all right, mate?
I'm very good. Yourself?
Exceptionally well, and surprisingly awake for a Sunday morning.
I know. All those coffee enemas we've been having every morning.
I go straight for the Red Bull and that class.
Oh, just me for the coffee enemas then.
Yes.
Okay.
Intravenous.
I thought we were all doing it. I thought it was a bonding thing. Yeah,
no, kind of like everybody noticed that you were doing it, and then they were right. I'm not going to do that.
Because I agreed with everybody first.
Obviously, we agreed.
I mean, I thought it was going to be like. I thought it was going to be like, Lord of the Rings. You'll get a Hobbit tattoo. No. Okay. Well. So, how are you finding Malta Comic-Con?
It's good. I'm lucky enough. It's my third year now, so I like coming over. It's always an interesting experience and very much like a different sort of show from doing like a London Film and Comic Con or a museum kind of thing. And it's just enjoyable to do that kind of more laid back and family atmosphere.
I think there can be those Comic Cons are very, very business like, aren't they?
Absolutely.
It's like a business transaction.
It's work for me. And it is, and I enjoy those in a way, but it's a completely different experience.
Yeah. And this is kind of like it's a working holiday. You get spent
maybe
maybe a little work.
I'm not saying
more holiday, less of the work.
I'm not saying there's any kind of beach involved or anything like that, but
But again, you get to spend time with your friends, your colleagues,
yes, absolutely,
and people you admire as well.
Absolutely, and they're a great bunch of guests.
They are. They've been so great, and so great with us as well. And
I'm hanging out with Ron Marz.
And how cool is that?
Yeah.
I got a coffee for Ron Marz. It wouldn't be cool for anybody else. It'd be a pain in the arse. But for Ron Marz, anything. Al Ewing as well. So I absolutely have no problem with that, and it's fun. And I was like, I'll pay for it. I don't mind.
Oh no, I draw a paying because I'm a cheap bastard.
Yeah. I'm going to charge you for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So have you got anything you're currently working on? Anything coming up?
Lots of currently things on. Well, let me think. I've got a new Dread out next month, actually.
Nice.
For the magazine as well, which I enjoy because it's a slightly longer form than the prods. Then kind of 5-page at a time and quite condensed storytelling, which I like doing stuff in the magazine because it's a long form. So that's out next month. Regular covers for Zenescope as always.
Mm-hmm.
Bless their cotton socks, they keep me in bread and water. And also doing a nice little project coming up, which is kind of some public domain 40s superhero stuff, some proper gold age stuff. Some very nice people like George Perez and Mark Gray and Barry Pitts and Mark Buckingham. Little old me.
Wow, you're in.
It's not bad company, is it?
That's like you're the newest member of the Avengers or something. Hopefully you're not like Star Fox or something like that.
No, I'm going for proper purple costume Hawkeye.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
with the mask and everything.
He's one of my favourite Avengers. If not one. Yeah, he's at least top 10. Easily top 10. He's very underrated, actually. I think very underrated.
I love Clint.
Yeah, it's great. It's just an amazing character. I mean, he was Wolverine before there was Wolverine.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
He's the guy who's like, I don't like authority, and you and your square-jawed righteousness, all that. And
But still at the same time, really deep down wanting to be Captain America.
exactly right. So yeah, I now we like to ask a silly question.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, so silly. Now, you are good friends with my current co-host, Dennis Whittle.
Mr. Whittle.
And I'd like to know, do you have any embarrassing stories about him that you could relay? None of the X-rated variety, if you can get away from it.
Spent a weekend with him in London recently.
Yeah.
The first thing he said to me when he got off the train was, I buzzed the button on my pants. Hi, Den. It's nice to see you too.
Yeah, that's nice. Here he is now.
And he's just walked in.
And I think that's a good...
I think that's officially what they call timing.
Yes, time to cut and run. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, Ian.
Thank you, Dan.
Take care. Hello, I'm Dan, and I'm here at Malta Comic-Con. I am joined by...
Ellie Stubbings and Jessie Tulip.
Thank you very, very much for joining us, guys. Quick question. How are you finding Malta Comic-Con?
Very good. It's a very relaxed environment. Everyone's really lovely. And sold quite a bit of art and everything, so that's always nice.
Yeah, so have you sold quite a bit then?
Yes, I find that when I come here I sell a lot of badges.
Okay,
I make
badges.
a lot of badges and they're
Right.
all gone.
Well, that is a good business model then.
Yes. Pure badges, 100%.
Oh, 100% badges. Yeah. And what other stuff are you selling as well?
I have art prints and stickers and pin badges. Keychains. Yeah.
So a bit of everything.
Bit of everything, yeah.
Got a finger in every pie. Selling it all.
Yeah.
Selling it all. Great stuff. And what kind of work have you got coming up, or what are you working on now?
At the moment, I'm working on a series called Itty Bitty Princess Kitty.
I love the name already.
This is as adorable as it sounds. So it's a series for kids, and it's sort of like 50% text, 50% pictures. So I'm doing the pictures.
Right.
And a lot of that is like graphic novel style, like spreads as well, which is pretty fun. So that's coming out next year. I've also been doing some baby books.
Wow,
which is
great.
Really cute, marching bands and rhythm stuff. So and I also like doing my own like diary comics as well. So that's always fun to do.
That sounds like you're very busy.
Yes, I
Got
do a lot.
all this sort of stuff. That's great though. Like you've got to stay busy. I wish I had more stuff to occupy my time. So I wasn't just twiddling my thumbs most nights,
Oh, no.
I love that. Do you kind of specify and kind of aiming towards like younger readers, or?
I think for the stuff I've been doing for publishers, it's all been like children's book like orientated, like because my style's really cute, it kind of goes towards that. But I think comics-wise, like I like to go for people kind of my age because I feel like they relate to like the sort of journal.
Cool,
style.
yeah. Amazing. And you're the mouthpiece. You're the promoter.
Yeah.
What have you got to say about the work?
All of Ellen's work is amazing, and I've basically come with her to conventions and just tell everybody how amazing her stuff is and how she should buy it. And I'm a scientist by trade, so if she warms my cold, logical heart with her stuff, I feel like it's kind of appealing to everybody. So.
I thought you were going to be like, well, I can convince you to buy this with science.
Well, I am a psychologist as well, so
Oh, you know how to play people. You know how to head shrink.
I know specifically how to get everyone to buy cute things.
Get in their head and go, yeah, you like cute things. It'll make you, what's your relationship with your mother like?
Yeah, this is why you specifically do well with this notebook. So
Yes.
you should get that right.
Fantastic. And we like to ask a silly question, because we're not all business. We like to have a bit of fun. I'd like to ask you both, what is your main pet peeve? What's the thing that gets on your nerves the most in life? It can be from a person, an item, anything. You name it.
Oh, there's so many things. I'm such a rush, but I think one of the things I've seen, and it was on the plane here, somebody had their bare feet on the back of somebody's seat, and I was just like, no, this person needs to be ejected out of his plane immediately. Like, that's not okay.
Oh. And yourself?
I mean, I would also second bare feet. Like, I don't know, I don't like feet. I don't like people like eating really loudly, and like another thing I thought of is that I really hate the feel of paper, which is really odd for an artist.
Yeah.
Like, the texture of it just really gets me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that, but it's like it's a form of plastic. I don't know what the plastic's called, but like the texture of it,
Is it polystyrene?
Not polystyrene, no. But it's kind of, I can't remember. It's kind of, I couldn't describe it, but it's a special kind of plastic.
Serious plastic.
Yeah, it's just the texture of it, and it sends like shivers down my spine. It's and I also am not a feet person. Like I do not like my own feet. There's a reason that, you know, the universe in its majesty, its supreme intelligence, put my feet as far away from my face as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like that is a design. That's not a design flaw. That is the ultimate bit of human design. You know, if you think of a higher creator, if you believe in that was like number one, first day. Get the feet away from the face.
That's what Monday was for.
That's all the evidence you need. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
feet should stay away.
Another pet peeve I have is just people being rude in general, in all shapes and sizes. I think that's everyone's pet peeve. But we were trying to get back from Valletta the other day in a taxi, and I was chatting away to some of the other creators in the cab, you know, having fun, and the taxi drivers told us to shut up.
Whoa.
Because we're giving him a headache.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is one grouchy taxi driver.
I know. Tell me about it. And I don't really want to go into the story because it's only going to get me riled up.
Yeah.
But on that very aggressive, angry note and bitter and twisted note, I think we'll end there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. It's been an absolute blast talking to you, and I hope you enjoy it. What's left of Malta Comic Con.
Yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Spider Dan and the Secret Balls do Malta Comic Con. It's me and Dennis Whittle. We have had a heck of a day, haven't we?
Yes. It's 1:30 in the morning.
It is.
We are still doing stuff.
Yeah, we're still talking, socializing, organizing, you know,
plotting,
planning, and
lots of laughing.
Deliberating.
Lots and lots of laughing.
Lots of laughing. I haven't laughed like this genuinely and not been horrendously drunk for a very long time. Like I've had a few drinks, and you don't drink, so we're relatively sober, I'd say.
Yeah,
but
I'm incredibly sober.
You're super sober.
Yeah,
if that's even a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it has been genuinely hilarious. I honestly haven't laughed like we've been in hysterics.
Yeah,
all night,
unable to breathe.
Yeah. We won't really talk about why. It's it's too long to explain and stuff. But
it's an entire podcast. Why?
Yeah. Anyway. See, I'm laughing now. But yes, let's talk about Malta Comic Con.
So, how many people have we interviewed today?
So, I believe we're looking at least maybe 14. I want to say
14 people.
Maybe. And most of them were back to back.
Yes.
For a long time. I think we did maybe 7. No, it's got to be more. Because I did about 7 back to back.
Yeah.
At the start of the day.
We did 7 this morning.
Yeah, and then we must have done at least another. I think we did at least another 12. Maybe more.
Well, we've apart from 5 guests, we've done everybody.
We managed to do everybody, and that was hard because there's a lot of requirements, or our thing was not scheduled.
No,
like we didn't have the thing go. You must be here at this hour to interview with us to do this. We didn't have that, which is, it is what it is, and we had to find the time, and we were going through table by table, but we managed to find a little spot with kind of gaps in the schedule, and we managed to just kind of get everybody in. We ran round, got the right people, got the recordings done, one after another, bam, 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 because the podcast setup is a little, it's transportable, but it's not exactly like you can just pick it up and go.
It's like a dictaphone, is it?
Yeah, it's not a dictaphone. It's not just like an iPad with a built-in mic. There's stuff to it. I won't go into the technical aspects of it, but yeah, it's a little bit more kind of technical and not as easy to pack down as I would like it to be. But yeah, so we did that, and then back to back.
interviews, and then back and towards the end of the day again, we did another few back-to-back interviews as well. We had a few technical hiccups, a few issues, but we rolled on through, and I think we did some excellent work. We got some excellent content, spoke to some wonderful people with incredible talent and incredible eye for art and creativity, and so positive about the whole experience. Everyone's so happy, and I'm so glad to speak to them on every level, from small press to big names, you name it. Everybody's there, and everyone was having a great time.
Oh, we've interviewed people from America, Scotland, Italy, Amsterdam, Israel, Manchester,
Liverpool,
Scotland, Wales.
We said Scotland, but
we've done Scotland twice.
Yeah, we can do them again.
Yeah,
Burnage,
way, which is just Manchester,
pretty much,
and China.
Yes.
So we've basically covered the globe.
Well, we've got my friend DL Keatis, or at DL Keatis on Twitter, said, "My friend Spider Down in the Secret Balls goes international, Mr. Worldwide."
Mr. Worldwide.
And that's what we've done. We've spoken to every corner of the globe we've covered today with comic book creativity.
And all of them have been absolute darlings.
Yeah, lovely.
And like Dan was saying, there was no kind of schedule to it. We kind of just do it together. But the idea was that we'd do brief kind of 3-minute, 4-minute interviews.
Yeah, a few questions.
None of them lasted that long. They all lasted longer because obviously when you start talking.
Get the bounce. We get the bounce.
Yeah, and I had to go up to them and say, "This is what we're going to do. What do you think?" And every one of them went, "Yeah, sounds great."
Yeah. Exactly.
As you can tell, my voice is going.
Yeah.
They came down. We had a laugh. We tried to kill Tim Perkins again.
We did twice. In fact, twice. Yeah.
And it was just great. We've met some absolute amazing people.
Diamond geezers and diamond gals.
I'm struggling to find any negatives with the guests.
The guests were wonderful. They had a positive outlook, no matter the situation, their personal situations or what have you, or the amount of work, stressful work they're having to do outside of the con, but inside the con, they were positive, vibrant, lovely, great with the fans. They spent absolutely ages talking to them and giving them that time to get to know them.
As I said yesterday, people doing free commissions, free artwork,
which is unheard of, really, for the most part.
And they're just great. And we did a panel this afternoon with a writing panel with 3 amazing people. And it was, all we did was basically took 3 questions, lasted for an hour, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and we just like, what's it like writing a comic? And that's basically all we said, and off they went. And we had a few questions thrown out. I threw out a couple later on. You threw out a couple.
There was a couple from the audience as well.
Yeah, there was a couple from the audience as well. But for my favourite bit is where the creators questioned each other. So because I've
never seen that. I've really never seen that in a panel.
Because everyone. I think some people are aware of comic book history or the general process of getting a comic published and edited and lettered and coloured and inked and all that sort of stuff. But as a writer, as a creative, there's certain things. Obviously, there's certain staples to a creative medium that you would just do, that you would follow. But it's never truly set. Every time an artist goes to, their canvas, they can attack that canvas however they want. They could, melt batteries onto the canvas for all they want. Any way of getting their ideas and that intent on their page, on their canvas, whatever you want to call it, to getting that feeling out from, their inside, their feelings, what's in their brain. Losing my own brain at the moment. Just blah, 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 blah. But genuinely, what I'm trying to say is that all 3 of them had such different processes for doing the same thing effectively, but they're all a success in their own right.
And it was a completely different panel. There was a few issues where we were doing the panel. Massive shout out to Al Ewing, John Layman, and
Ron Marz as well, yeah.
Because they just said, right, we're going to take this outdoors. We're going to go on a tour.
Yeah.
Got our chairs. We went outside. Nice sunny day. We're in Malta. And we just sat outside, cross legs.
We didn't even get chairs.
No. Just sat down, stood up, and just chatted.
It was
comics.
like you were going to the Dalai Lama or something. Like everyone sat around and these wise men gave out their vast knowledge, everything they knew, and everyone listened. It was like, the second coming, and people were there to listen. And I think it was very late in the day and everyone gets tired. It's been a long weekend. Everyone's worked very hard. And I think that gave them that boost, that final boost to kind of just carry on through to the rest of the day, re-energize them. It's fun. They had banter with each other. Yeah. They were making fun of each other. They were respecting each other's decisions, but even challenging why they do things the way they do.
Yeah, Layman. Tut, tut, tut. For me, I think we mentioned it slightly yesterday, but it's made my experience here, enhanced it, hanging out with, I'm going to say it, comic book royalty.
Yeah, it's comic book royalty.
Tim Perkins, a friend.
Yeah.
Ian Richardson, a friend. Always a pleasure. And it's just nice to have these sprinkles of these absolute legends who, and I'll be honest with you, the friends.
Yeah. I'd call them friends.
Exchanged phone numbers and
bought each other drinks
like and Gene, we've not really spoken about Gene.
Yeah, Gene Ha.
Gene Ha has mine, Dan's, and Ian's face as his wallpaper on his phone. I have photos to prove it.
Yeah, we do.
The guy's a legend.
Yeah, and we don't know how long that'll last, but
no, but I want to make sure tomorrow. But it's just been great. And another highlight for today was me taking part in the 1 minute art challenge.
So it's a 1 minute sketch challenge. So that involved characters being called out, and if you weren't aware of the character, you had 1 minute to sketch them regardless. So, if it was Bender from Futurama, if you've never seen the show, you don't know what he looks like, you're going to draw it any way you think. Well,
I was robbed. But having said that, I beat professional artists because Tim didn't get a single vote.
There you go. And you won a full round as well.
I won a full round
and one whole round against all of those artists.
Two very sweet audience members came up and asked me to sign my Darth Maul and my Spider-Man Noir. So I'm now officially better than Tim Perkins.
So you are now. We've had the comic book princes, and you are the comic book pauper, I believe.
Oh yeah, But
you swapped your hats for the day. That's fine.
I did it to stand in for Ian because he was busy.
Yeah, Ian Richardson.
And I was robbed. Everybody said I was robbed. Yeah, it's kind of an art competition, but for creative. Yeah. I don't know.
To be fair, it's a minute sketch thing. So anybody could do it. And I think someone stepped up at the last minute who was a fan.
Yeah, downstage.
She just basically said, "I want to be a part of this." And fair play to Malta Comic Con. They were they didn't go, "Oh no, this is professional artists," or they went, "No, please come on, we want you." And she was like, "Yes," and she did very well. She was good, fantastic. Yeah. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was spectacular as well.
Gene won in the end, but I think he cheated.
Oh, spoilers!
Yeah, he was pre-drawing outlines. How dare he?
I know, right.
But he's just a machine. He's
Gene the machine.
He's the amazing Gene. But no, that was good. I've never done anything like that before, and I'm probably not going to do it again.
Fair enough.
Unless I have massive art lessons. But I just want to make sure everyone realizes I am now better than Tim Perkins,
and I hope he knows that. I hope he knows.
I've told him already.
I hope it destroys him and breaks him down
many times already.
You're his bane you're the bane to his.
I'm going to break his pencils.
And his spirit, and his mind, and his body.
Well, maybe his books. I think
break his books.
It's a bit mean. I kind of liked him. I don't want to break his body.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah. Plus he's a brute of a man.
He is. He's a machine. You should see him do karaoke.
Yeah, we did try killing him a few times today. He's just immoral, that guy. He just will not die.
You tried to take the chair away from him when he sat down.
And then I tried choking him at dinner.
Yeah, of course.
That didn't work. Every time I mention dinner, you're going to get a giggle.
A lot went on.
One day it will come out in the wash because it's one of those things.
I'm sure. 50 podcasts on, maybe we'll finally reveal
we'll do
exactly.
like a revisit of Malta Comic Con, and this kind of stuff will come out.
Maybe we'll the following year, perhaps, if we're allowed back, or if they deem us worthy to return, perhaps maybe we'll go. Well, this is what happened. It's been a year.
This is what happened.
This is the anniversary.
Last time we were here, and you may hear stories. Of the notorious Sunday night dinner in Malta. And you know what? I'm not even... It's so spectacular that I'm doing it injustice.
Yes, even now.
I cannot... It's just so good.
And
we've told the story now about 4 times to people, to like all the professionals. I like that. I'm very good at all the professionals.
You're good at all the professionals.
All of them. Everyone's found it very amusing and equally shocking and disturbing in equal measure. So,
and I've told them some very personal stories as well, which I'll not recount just now.
Can I?
Maybe we'll save that for next year as well.
But it's been a long day. It's been a hard day. A lot of running around. We swapped kind of jobs today with Dan doing pretty much all the interviewing and doing the same questions over again and trying to make things sound fresh and do stuff is you're my mate, so I can tell you it's good. It's hard to do, and it's a credit to you.
Thank you.
And I was just running around. I was basically the fluffer. I was going around, getting people into it, getting them prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Moist.
Selling. What we're doing and your message of Oldham Comic Con and what you're about, because I think you'd be more than happy to have almost all the guests, if not all the guests that we've had spoke to and had today. If we can fit them in, at Oldham.
I think there's maybe a few one in the pipeline, my friend.
Oh,
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Secret late night phone calls, and
I get them anyway.
He's giving out his private number.
Yes, I have numbers of people. I have numbers and pictures.
Are you blackmailing these people?
A little bit, yeah.
Fair enough.
But they kind of we are very similar. Oldham and Malta are very similar in many ways, and in some ways very different.
Yeah.
And that's it is what it is. We have comic book shops on the street. We have Forbidden Planet. We have lots of stuff. They don't have that here.
No.
They only have Amazon. So a lot of the kind of sequential stuff they don't get until they get graphic novels.
I think what we were saying earlier is that was it yesterday or today? No, it was yesterday.
At least I've known all my days. I didn't even know what day it was earlier.
I know. It's been a big kind of whirlwind of stuff. But you were saying that the Prime Minister of Malta, and wasn't there the
leader of the opposition and the
head of the arts
person.
council, if you will, for Malta? They all turned up, and I don't know if you said this the other day, but that's crazy to me to imagine like Boris Johnson going to a Comic-Con. And what's great about this is because they don't have access to comic books, or they don't have access. There's no, like you said, there's no shops on the island. There's no direct market shop for comics on the island, which seems crazy to me. But obviously, Fabio and his team have put this together because there is a severe lack of that, and they're all fans, and they're big fans. That's the reason they did this. They put it together, and it works. And I really do wish that we had that Comic-Cons weren't so looked down upon in our country.
Some need to be looked down upon. Sorry, I'm tired, so I'm being nasty.
He's getting mean, twisted,
losing my voice, and I'm mean.
But you're right. There are lesser Comic-Cons. I think those get and the good ones get a bad name because of the lesser ones, and the idea of dressing cosplay and some of the certain people that attracts, or some of the other things that the behavior of some conventions, again, kind of some of them are very controversial. There's very controversial people who run those events. They will go nameless. The events will go nameless, but go on.
No, I was gonna name one, but I'm not going to.
No. No. Let's be fair.
No, and it's true. My event and Malta event are based around people coming reading, people in the arts. It's not based around making money.
No.
because we're not going to make money.
No.
You know, Oldham Comic Con is free. Here, the money they make here recycles itself. So we don't do it to make money. We do it because we love comics. We love the guests. We love when people come and pick up a book for the very first time and go, God, this is great. You know, I never read this before. And that's what it's about. And so we are very similar. Like I said, and we are different in certain aspects, but you know, hopefully going down the line,
message. I think the message is the same.
And we're going to hopefully link in a little bit more, do a little bit kind of cross promotion, a little bit. Hopefully, do a bit more kind of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, this has been great. I've had such a lovely experience, and thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to come to this event.
We were sat down tonight. We're going to go off, and you know we're going home tomorrow. And they're all saying, what time? We want to say goodbye. We want to come and meet you and say goodbye. And you got Ron who says, right, I'll meet you at 8:00. We'll have dinner together. We'll have breakfast together.
Yeah.
You know, here's this, that, number and stuff. And he's making time to speak to me and Dan. And it's, as a fan, forget about what we're doing. But as a fan who's read this guy's books, who's like kind of thought, I'm never going to meet this person or whatever. He's having breakfast with us and making a beeline, talk. You know, we're not going to him all the time. It's
crazy.
As a fan of reading comics, I'm 42 since I bought my first comic when I was 10. That for me is. And I can't ever put a price on that.
And when we say meet, it's not like you go to a convention and you spend 5 minutes with them and go, I love your work, thank you, goodbye. We're talking about the most personal kind of dreams, aspirations, desires, their family, you know, all these personal details and their work. And they don't always want to talk about their work, you know. As Tim told me tonight, he's like, I don't want to talk about work all the time. I want to talk about just normal everyday stuff. Yeah, sometimes I'll talk about work. That's fine. And that's great. And I feel the same way about some of the work I do. I'm like, can we just, you know, can we talk about something else though? You know, I'm going to talk about this in length. You know, I'm going to do this in length elsewhere. And
meeting family, like, Jean's wife's here. John's wife's here.
Yeah, both lovely as well.
Yeah. And, you know, Jean's wife was encouraging, young Dan here to drink alcohol very, very fast.
Yeah. Peer pressure.
But it's nice to kind of be part of that.
Yeah.
And I think I can't put a price on that.
No. But it's that, I think that goes back to like when we were kids and stuff and we're into these characters and into this type of things. We're being welcomed with open arms because we have a love for the material. And by proxy, by association, we have a love for these people and the work they've done. And again, like we said, can't put a price. They can't put a price on that to someone to appreciate them. And even if we haven't necessarily read their work, we've heard of it. We know something about it, or we know somebody who's read it or recommended it, you know, and, you know, I'm going to check out a lot of this stuff purely because I now know these people, not because necessarily it has been recommended. It has as well. Don't get me wrong, because it's quality work that they've produced, but I want to help them out. I want to assist them. If I can give them, you know, my book, you know, and they can get more bang for their buck and I can, you know, everything like that, I will assist in any way. People were trying to give me free things today, and I said, that's fine. You want to give me a discount? That's fine. But I'm paying towards you and your work because that's the point. I want to support you in everything that you do because I love what you do.
I'm going to tell my wife I spent all my money, but it was very difficult. So, darling, I'm skint. I'm not really. Shh. But going just quickly back because it is getting late and my voice is disappearing.
That's all right. We'll call it quits soon.
What Dan was saying then about, you know, it's not like a con where you spend a few minutes with a sign your book and disappear. You know, quality time talking about controversial storylines these people have written, talking about what goes on behind the scenes, you know, proper kind of, you know, listen, this is what happened. You know, this is sort of stuff, and it's stuff that you just dream about knowing, and and they want to talk to you about it. You know, I asked questions about stuff that I've wondered about for a long time.
Forever. For years.
And to kind of sit down and have a very eloquent answer. Yeah. And, you know, things that you thought, well, really? And they've talked, well, yeah. It's like the DC and Marvel crossover. Apparently it was great. No arguments, nothing. It was all sorted. There was no problems. All this stuff about all the arguing about, it's like, no.
They were both in it to make a lot of money, and that's what it did.
So, and to kind of ask these questions, is great, and it's been great. And the hospitality of, you know, I'd like to thank Fabio, the Chris's, you know,
Samantha as well. Samantha's great.
Yeah, all the helpers and
fantastic.
To give us the opportunity, give me the opportunity again, and give Dan the opportunity to come down.
And we've had complete autonomy as well.
Yeah.
Like we've gone and done what we needed to do, what was asked of us. But, you know, we've not been like micromanaged or you've got to go here, do this, do that. Yeah. We've had complete freedom. And that, in a way, that's a good thing, that we've been able to go and do and see who we need to see and get those interviews done. You know, on our own time scale, we weren't like, we have to fit this many in and this many hours and do this and do that here. You know, that's lovely. I do like when people aren't constantly watching over my shoulder.
You know, and we've done what we can. We've done the interviews we can. We've done the panels we can. We've met a lot of people. We've promoted them, and we will continue to do that.
Yeah,
and we'll continue to promote the medium.
And on that lovely note, I think it's time to call it a night.
I am going to bed.
Yes. I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank everybody who joined us, everybody who works with us, everyone who's involved in Malta Comic Con, everyone who came. It has been a fabulous event. I've had nothing but fun and nothing but a good time, laughs and smiles throughout every single day. And it has been an absolute pleasure working with you again, Dan. Thank you again for giving me this huge opportunity.
It's been an absolute pleasure. You've been an absolute star. Looked after me when I was poorly. You know, run around for me the other day when we were late getting here. And it's enhanced everything, because, you know, it's good becoming things, but you do eventually got to come to your room on your own and kind of sit here on your own, and it does get a bit crap. So, you know, nothing's been a chore. It's been great having you, and, you know, I think we've probably come closer.
I think so too.
But yeah, and I'm the same. Thanks for kind of everyone here who's connected to MaltaCon.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I'm a bit jaded about cons. This has kind of re-energized me a little bit.
I think so too.
It's kind of got me thinking, you know, there's some good people here. You know, they wish to be. Yeah. Name the movie. But it's completely spending time and listening to it. And then, you know, Malta Con's finished now. Oldham Con, you know, people know about it.
That's the next big one.
Yeah, and they know about it. And I've not told anyone. And they're saying, when's the date? We've heard good things, and we're doing this and we're doing that. And we're going to launch this book there. And, you know, a lovely artist called Janine said, I'm going to try to get a book done so we can have it there for your event and stuff. And it has kind of, I thought, ooh, maybe it is worth keep going on. But it has re-energized. But, you know, and thanks, Dan, for, you know, staying up until 1:45 on a Sunday night to finish a podcast and bring it to a close. So thanks, buddy. I love you big much.
And thanks, buddy. You too, buddy. Brain shutting down, losing
lump of sex meat.
Consciousness. Okay, now we're going to call this a night.
That's it.
Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, Malta Comic Con. Good night.